Now, our forbidden donut has become the Forbidden Jelly Donut! Welcome back, guys, to another episode of HBM Survival, where last time we built this lovely donut behind us, and this episode we're gonna inject the forbidden jelly into it. So let's begin on that, with the first step being expanding the base once again. And boop! Now with our fusion reactor moved, we can begin on what we're going to do this episode, which is build the plasma heater and a lot of other things. Starting with the plasma heater, to make it we need 2 stacks and 8 plasma heater components, as well as the core component. And for every 4 components, we need 2 neutron reflectors, 2 magnetrons, 2 welded steel plates, and 2 welded tungsten plates. So, let's begin on that. Alrighty, there we go, copper plates. Boop, 23. Hopefully this is enough to finish it. We'll make all of them. Let's hope. But also while we're doing that, we're gonna get some of the lithium ion energy storage blocks. Wait. Here it is. And 4. There we go. Now let's craft a core component of the core component for our plasma heater. Over here. Plasma heater core component. Now let's find where we need to put it. I believe, because this machine is very long and it needs to fit into it. Nope, not there. Perfect place to put it. That's, as you can see, the purple particles right there, so that means it's where it needs to be. So let's begin assembling it by just placing all these components of it down. That was satisfying. So, now that we have made this, we need to actually fuel our fusion reactor, make the stuff to fuel our fusion reactor. And to do that, we're first going to move our RBMK over here. Oh wait. That's how you assemble it. And then you put steel tanks in there. Boop. There we go. Now we need to connect it all. Now that's that bit done. And now the next bit we're going to get is a high power steam condenser, which needs some engine lubricant, some steel pipes, some welded steel plates, welded technetium steel plates, 16 copper plates, and 3 dish motors. So let's get started on that. And we'll actually go ahead and make 2 because we'll also need one for the fusion reactor because it generates ultra-dense steam as well. Alright, let's make some BDCL. Boop. BDCL, there we go. Take that, put that in, go, and boom, that should be everything we need to make 2 high power steam condensers. So let's stuff all this into our little finning right here. Oh, they're still welding. Yay. Well, once these finish welding, we shall put them in and make our high-power steam condensers. There we go. Now let's make our 2 high-power steam condensers. That's our first one. So now, while that other one's making, we're just gonna put our first one over here. I'd say right there should be good. Yep, perfect size. Alright, now let's take that. There we go. Now we need our water template. A water template. And a low pressure steam aim identifier. There we go. Now we just need to hook all this up to power. Cable there. That there. Cable there. Boom. There we go. Our little RBMK is now set up once again. But there's still a few more things we need to do. For example, making another tank to house our tritium. So let's do that. place it on top of our little water tank. And we're going to make a tritium fluid identifier. There we go. And now everything should be ready aside from putting the irradiation in the irradiation channels and fueling the reactor. Everything should be ready aside from that. And boom, we have enough mixed oxide fuel to fuel our new RBMK. So let's make a couple fuel rods of the stuff. Alright, now the final step to making, the final step before we activate this new RBMK is to get a bunch of graphic schist. Because if you shred it, you get lithium. And you can use lithium to make tritium. So let's begin on that. Graphic thick schist we can fit. Almost. Grab a bit more to fill up that hole. That's left. There we go. Let's head back to the surface now. Boop, boop. Boop, boop. There we go. Well, just acidizing all that. Using all that hydrogen peroxide. Well, that's all our graphic schist acidized into lithium. So, let's go cast this out all into blocks in our little auto caster. Alright, all our lithium is casted into blocks. So, let's take that. Boop. Let's put all this in here and transport it to our RBMK. And boop. There we go. Alright, now we just gotta grab our fuel for this reactor. take this now and place our fuel in. Boop. Now all that's left to do is start it up. Boop. There we go. It's working. Now that we've got our tritium, we can make ourselves the second part of the plasma, deuterium, which means we will need a bunch of deuterium extraction towers, which are relatively expensive. But anyways, let's begin on this. Boom, 16 deuterium filters. Alright. Deuterium extraction tower. There we go. 8 deuterium extraction towers. There we go. 8 deuterium extraction towers. Now we need a source of water for these, which we're going to use these electric groundwater pumps, because we made them in an earlier episode and they provide a lot of water, which we will need. So let's just dig down. Bloop. There we go. Now we need to pump the water out of them. The water identifier. And make it all heavy water. Boop. There we go. Now, you may have noticed that this isn't actually deuterium itself, but heavy water. And the reason for that is we're gonna need to electrolyze it using yet another new machine, the electrolysis machine. Such a creative name. Anyways, let's get started on the electrolysis machine. There we go. 7, 8, and there we go. Now we can make our electrolysis machine. Boop. Now this machine is probably going to be a big boy, so we're going to I'd say here's a good spot, and I was right about it being a big boy. Alrighty, alright, and now we have both things for a deuterium tritium maker. Well, for deuterium tritium plasma. We're actually making it right now. And while we're doing this, we are going to store some more tritium. We're going to make some more big A tanks 9000. There we go. Ugh. I don't know why I kept stumbling. And that should be good. So now the final step, well, not the final step, But one of the two final steps before we can get this fusion reactor running is making 4 more Leviathan steam turbines. Now I won't be showing much of this because we've made one of these in a previous episode, so it wouldn't be really interesting to see me make it again. But let's go ahead and do this, even though it'll only take about 3 seconds for you. Perfect. Good amount. Wait, what? Did I seriously just find a stronghold? Bro, what? How did I find a stronghold right next to my base? Well, relatively near my base. What? There we go. There's the end portal. So let's mark it and go back home. Alright, so now that we've got our Leviathan steam turbines and our high-power steam condenser hooked up to our fusion reactor, we can begin on the final step before we can activate it, the fusion reactor blanket, which needs 32 blocks of tungsten and 96 neutron reflectors. So let's get started on that. And a boop. And that should be enough to make all the neutron reflectors that we need. And there we go, all the blocks of tungsten that we need. So let's go put our assembly template here. Wait for this to finish. And there we go. Our tungsten fusion reactor blanket. So let's go over here. Just navigate through our Leviathan steam turbines. Put it in. And now, the only thing left to do is turn it on. There we go. Now, our forbidden donut has become the forbidden jelly donut! We did it, boys! Look at all that power. Oh. And we should now be able to get some ionized particles, which are very, very useful for quantum computers, rubidium armor, and more, like flash gold, copper ions, lead ions, rubidium production, rubidic acid production, electronium production, helium-4 production, ionic gel production, and solid-state quantum processors, which are needed for the quantum computer, which are needed for Gerald. But anyways, we've run out of time for this episode. I've been your host, Q-Ball, and make sure to like and subscribe and watch the last part where we actually built this fusion reactor. Anyways, goodbye!